I can't do the ketogenic diet because I get fucking cramps and shit. This diet is unhealthy as fuck because I'm getting fucking cramps, you piece of shit. I'm not doing this diet. Fuck this diet. I'm gonna go back to fucking McDonald's in the supermarket and get all my fucking electrolytes straight and shit. This is fucking bullshit. I'm done with the ketogenic diet. I'm done. I can't fucking do it anymore. I'm sorry, but, you know, fuck that. Fuck keto. Fuck it. Fuck it. Right in its ass. Fucking unhealthy shit. Well, now that we've weeded... What the fuck happened to my background? Oh, shit. This is what happens when you, Here, we'll do a picture today. Now that I've weeded out all the sensitive motherfuckers that can't handle swear words, let's get started. Welcome, Double Delta. Glad to see you here. Haven't seen you. You weren't here yesterday, were you? I don't think. Today I want to talk about keto cramps. It's an issue that steers so many people away from the ketogenic diet. I don't have Discord up right now, but if you want, I can fire it up. But I want to get through the video part of this first, and then we can kind of hang out after and chat and shit and do the Discord thing. So, I recently went on to a concert with a friend of mine, and he was telling me how he's trying to go keto. He's tried and failed multiple times, but he gets there. Thank you, Double Delta. But I guess his mother was also trying, and she told him that she couldn't because she gets these unbearable cramps. And then, you know, at the same time, I get this comment, you know, from Where's Wendy on YouTube. I get foot cramps nightly, lots of them. I haven't been doing my keto way of eating because the cramps get worse on it. I was attributing it to not drinking enough fluids, which I am terrible at, and that's kind of a common misconception. You know, if you drink too much water and not enough electrolytes, because most water sources, including the bottled water, are devoid of these electrolytes. You know, they're either filtered out or they're taken from sources that just don't have mineral content. You know, or they're evaporated and filtered, in which case you get very little mineral content. And you got to understand, that's where we were getting our minerals from back in the day, and we've since destroyed that option for getting our electrolytes. Which I'm terrible at and lacking certain minerals. I think I eat plenty of salt in my standard American diet. Tests show nothing. I'm 67, obese, and take meds for hypertension and diabetes, omega-3, and COQ, whatever, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I so want to lose weight and get rid of meds, but I just can't bear these cramps in ketoing, which is the only way I can lose weight successfully. It scares me off. And I know Wendy is not alone. I myself have experienced these cramps and done a lot of homework to figure out where I was fucking up. If you are experiencing cramps, your electrolytes are off. Plain and simple. And I'm going to go over all the different methods and all the different reasons on why that can happen. Number one reason, I think, Redmond salt, Double Delta. Yeah, we're going to go over some of that too in terms of the things. Cramps equals not enough sodium, HTO, potassium. It's a little bit more to it than that. That is correct. But there are things that can prevent mineral absorption. You take in the minerals, but your body doesn't utilize them. One of the things that my problem is that I identified, I figured it out. It helped that I quit coffee for a while too, because cramps didn't happen at all during that, is I drink way too much coffee, which does have potassium in it, by the way, and I consider it a potassium source. But if you do too much of this, it does dehydrate you. It is diuretic. It causes you to lose a lot of your body fluids. And if you don't replenish them, then you have no storage for your electrolytes. It also gives you too much. If you don't eat enough sodium, then you'll have too much potassium. And then, you have to have an electrolyte balance for this to work. So this throws everything out of whack if I don't supplement my other electrolytes, magnesium and sodium, to balance out the amount of potassium I'm taking in. Another thing that can fuck you up is if you eat a lot, and I do mean an abnormal amount of vegetables. There's several factors that go into that. There are several plants and plant toxins that prevent mineral absorption. And that's why you see some deficiencies in some people that are vegan and do too much plants. We weren't supposed to eat all of our calories from plants. It's just not a case. So if your ketogenic diet is very plant heavy and not very meat and fat heavy, you may also run into this issue where you're not able to absorb your electrolytes. So that's something to take into consideration. If you have a lot of plants in your life, then you probably need to increase your amount of electrolytes coming in, because plants can prevent them. Another reason plants can prevent the absorption is glyphosate. Glyphosate binds to minerals. It's a chelating agent. Unfortunately, it can be in your tap water, and which means if you go out to eat, you're getting lots of glyphosate, no matter what kind of diet you're on. It can also be in vegetables that are from agricultural regions where there is glyphosate in use. So your glyphosate level will affect your ability to absorb minerals because it binds to minerals and makes them bio-unavailable. In addition to destroying your gut health, and permeating your gut wall, causing leaky gut, and all the other things that go into glyphosate. Glyphosate is here to stay, and it is a poison that we have to try and compensate for through our nutrition. We got all these things that are stopping us from possibly being able to absorb these minerals. Double Delta just wrote no veg for me. I didn't get cramps when I was fully carnivore, despite having coffee too, by the way. When I bring other plants into the mix, or when I get some things here and there, then I put myself at risk for cramps. It is a balancing act, and it's a pain in the ass. It's one could make an argument that keto is hard because you have to manage this particular thing. And the only reason you have to manage it isn't necessarily because of keto, it's because of our food environment, our lack of good mineral sources, and the amount of stuff that can prevent us from absorbing the minerals in the process. Not to mention our own personal eating habits can keep us from achieving this balance. And it took me a great deal of self-experimentation in fucking around to figure out how to get my minerals balanced, and I still to this very day occasionally fuck up to the point where I get the foot cramps or the calf cramps. I haven't had them lately, and because I keep on top of certain things. Now, one of the ways you can absorb your minerals is through your skin. For magnesium, that's my preferred method of getting my magnesium. Obviously it is in some of the foods I eat, and there is a little bit of magnesium content in pink Himalayan salt because it is a complete mineral profile that they're giving you, which is why everyone on keto recommends it. But Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate or whatever the fuck it is, it's usually pretty cheap. You put a cup of it in some bath water, soak for a while, which I know is not an option for you if you don't have a bath available. But, there's other ways, I guess, you could incorporate it into a shower, like rub it on your skin, let the water kind of soak, get wet, put it on your skin, let it hang out for a little bit, about 5-10 minutes, and then rinse it off. You will absorb some of that content. And for me, this almost always solves my cramp problem. If I keep up with this, if I get in situations where I can't do it, I notice the cramps start to return. Amateur 13, has anyone done a food diary? Did it help? I do not do a food diary. But my diet is pretty simple. I think if you were trying to eliminate shit and you had a lot of shit in your diet that you eat that you can't keep track of, then a food diary would be appropriate. So, and of course, I use pink Himalayan salt. Now, you should still use some table salt because you do require some iodine, which is not in pink Himalayan salt. Turns out there's no shortage of the ability to get regular salt from time to time, but I don't think you need to do it for every meal. Maybe once every other day is what I do for regular table salt. To get that iodine content in. But a lot of foods, if you're eating any packaged foods, are going to have, enrichment in there where you'll get your sodium and iodine. And like if you're eating pork rinds, for example, you can almost guarantee that's table salt that they're using to preserve that. And, you're not getting iodine in here. You're getting a whole bunch of other minerals, but, this goes on all of my savory foods. If I'm having a steak, I'll season it. Sometimes I'll just season it with Montreal. Sometimes I'll put some of this on in addition to the Montreal if I feel I've been having electrolyte issues there. But turns out, you get a lot of electrolytes from beef because it seeps out of the bones into the meat, into the fat, and if you consume all of that, you'll get a lot of your electrolytes that way. Animals have minerals in them. They do store a lot of minerals, especially with bones. Bone broth is another option. You can, use bone broth to get almost all of your electrolyte content if you do it regularly. So if that's something you enjoy, I'm not big on the bone broth. I would do it if I had to. Because it's just time consuming to make bone broth. I mean, you can't go out and buy it pre-made, but then you're worried about what else did they put in the shit. So that's kind of, where I go. Yelva, you don't want to go iodine free. You do have a little bit of iodine. You don't want to become deficient in it. So I wouldn't go completely iodine free with your salt. You may benefit from magnesium oil, which comes in a spray mist form for when you can't do the bath or when traveling. It works like a charm. That is a very good tip. I didn't know that was an option, that you can buy an oil that you can absorb through your skin. Another thing that you can do to get some of your mineral content is just swim in a natural water source, preferably one that's not polluted. You will absorb a lot of minerals that way. And every time I've done a wilderness fast and was drinking from that lake, I didn't have any cramps whatsoever, despite doing long periods of fasting, which is something else you'll notice if you do a long fast and you're keto. If you're mineral deficient going into the fast, you're going to experience cramps for sure. And a solution for that would be to, of course, make your snake juice electrolyte drink, or whatever you call your electrolyte drink, and take in some, it could just be as simple as putting some of this in your water and making external magnesium. The reason why you don't want to eat magnesium supplements is they will have an effect on your digestion and make you take shits, lots of shits just for that. So, Epic Provisions, bone broth, and by all means, if you're watching this on YouTube, put it in the comments how you get your electrolytes and stop your cramps, because there's a lot of people that need help with this. And that's kind of who this video is mainly geared toward, is people that haven't solved this issue. Yelva, I also eat sardines several times a week, and I imagine there's I'm a little leery of seafood, but that's just the okay, what's polluting our seafood, because our waters are getting polluted with glyphosate. It's getting polluted with radiation and shit and all kinds of shit. So I do get leery of eating excessive amounts of seafood, but once or twice a week, dose does determine the poison. So let's take a look at some of the comments that people put. Where's Wendy? You might want to look at taking magnesium supplement. That would help with the leg cramps. A lot of people shy away from those supplements if taken internally because of the problems that it can send you to the bowl. And it's still a balancing act. If you have too much magnesium and not enough potassium and sodium, then you'll experience problems because you won't utilize the magnesium. Same thing with sodium and potassium. It's a balance. And if you have too much of one electrolyte and not enough of the others, you'll probably experience cramps. Like I said, I know that I get a lot of potassium because I drink a lot of coffee. If you eat a lot of vegetables, your chances are, especially spinach and that kind of stuff, you're going to get a lot of potassium that way. And you need a lot of sodium and magnesium to be part of that equation to keep that balance. And don't overdo it with supplements. If you can do this in a more natural way, try. Any way that you can get through natural means, like bone broth, for example, would be a natural way of doing this. Using this is, believe it or not, natural. This is harvested from natural sources. And same thing with magnesium. Soaking in magnesium is something that we always did. We just didn't know we were doing it. When you're swimming in a natural water source like a lake or a stream or an ocean especially, you're going to get a lot of minerals absorption through your skin. So, smaller fish are safer, but not completely safe. Like I said, for fish, I try and keep my dosage down just because of the pollution issues that are plaguing us today. So, another consideration is medication. I noticed that Wendy mentioned, where was it? That she takes meds for hypertension and diabetes. Going ketogenic while on prescription medication, you need to consult a doctor that knows exactly what those medications do to you, that is informed on keto, and that will give you the proper advice and take you off the meds if you need to come off the meds. For example, my mother just went on keto and just refused to take her diabetes medication that they prescribed her. She's like, I'm not doing it, and her blood sugar came down to the 120s, sometimes down to 90, and, it hasn't been an issue since. She hasn't needed to take the medication. If she has a cheat day, that's a different story, but for the most part, she's in remission most of the time if she's sticking to the diet, so she doesn't necessarily need the medication. I am not qualified to make that decision. If you're on medication, you need to talk to somebody who knows what the medication does, can monitor your status, can take care of you. I take stupid chances by doing these self-experiments. I am not advocating anybody else to do so. That's just me as a person. That's what I do, and that's why I'm not a fucking expert. These are things that I do, that I learn from trial and error a lot, but I also do a lot of homework in the process to make the decisions to try or not try certain things. But medications can prevent mineral absorption, can cause deficiencies, can cause numerous problems with your health that may have nothing to do with the diet itself. Certain medications can raise your blood sugar. Certain medications can really just fuck you up. Destroy your organs to the point where they're not doing what they're supposed to do on a ketogenic diet. So if you're on prescription drugs and you're trying to go keto, they are a factor in your success and B, your symptoms. Some drugs become more potent, especially if you're fasting. If you're doing long fasts and you're on prescription drugs, those drugs are going to become more powerful than they otherwise would be. It's all things to consider. If you're on medication, you do need some kind of doctor involved, and preferably one who is pro keto and knows his shit on keto, and you may have to search out of your area to find such a doctor. Fortunately, I'm pretty healthy. I don't have any issues. My labs always come back good on my checkup, so I am not in the healthcare system. But I do understand that a lot of people that come to keto are in the healthcare system and will have to deal with this shit. Double Delta, how do I do it? How I do it. Daily 2 teaspoons Redmond salt with 1 teaspoon no salt potassium, 1 pound of beef, no cramps every day. I used to have debilitating cramps. And like I was saying, if you are straight up carnivore, you're probably not having a problem with this. Because not only is it easy to get your electrolytes in, because the meats, and if you do eggs, you're definitely getting electrolytes there as well. If you drink coffee, you're getting some electrolytes, but you're also preventing some absorption and could throw your balance out of whack if you do coffee. So you need to compensate, like I do, need to compensate for that. But like I said, when I was on my carnivore, experiments, no cramps, and I still drank coffee. So that just tells me that I get a complete profile. There's times when I can't do this, and almost without fail, I'll get the occasional cramp as a result. For example, recently I went on that road trip, and there were a couple nights where I had cramps, and it was a pain in the ass, and I wasn't happy about it. I was drinking water, I was drinking coffee. I wasn't eating more than 1 meal a day because it gets expensive out there when you're traveling. And sure enough, I had cramps. When I got to the campsite and people were shoving food at me, cramps went away. And that was a lot of meat involved in that. So I do believe a carnivore will have less of an issue with cramps than a keto. At least that's been my personal experience. But I can't speak for everybody in that respect. Dietman999 wrote, if you're on metformin, B vitamins might also help. And that just goes to show, educate yourself on the medications you're taking if you're taking them. What are the side effects? Especially pay close attention to the may cause part of the description. May cause death, may cause reactions. Consult your doctor if this shit happens. You go through all of that because these are legit symptoms that you could experience on that drug. You got to understand that almost every drug has a negative side effect. And in the pharmaceutical industry could give two shits whether you've really experienced them, as long as you stay on the drug and stay alive long enough to keep taking the drug. These drugs are prescribed not to cure you. They're prescribed to keep you going for longer. You're still going to eventually succumb to these illnesses that they prescribe you for, but you're not going to take metformin and then one day you're not diabetic anymore. That's just not going to happen. It's designed to cope and keep you on the standard American diet for a longer period of time before you start to succumb to pancreatic beta cell failure and all of these other things that just lead to you having to either take more drugs or take insulin to keep you from succumbing to diabetes. And as you can see, it's not a sustainable way of being diabetic. Definitely changing your nutrition and being on keto permanently. And it makes me sad that here you have somebody who is diabetic, taking medications for it, obese, all of these and she would benefit from it, but the painful cramps are keeping her from going keto, and I just realized they did that without, the benefits are keeping her from going keto. She needs to go keto, in my opinion, to manage diabetes. And without a doubt, that is the best nutritional profile and the most fulfilling and the safest that a diabetic could do. Vegans would argue with me on this, but they'd be wrong. This is not a new science. This has been known since Banting, back in the day. This is how you treat obesity and diabetes, a ketogenic diet. You'll fix your hormones. You'll lose a lot of weight because when you fix your hormones, you already have an excess amount of leptin on board, and that's why keto causes weight loss. your brain becomes sensitive to leptin again, and it realizes that you're carrying tons of weight. So it starts to utilize that, lower your appetite dramatically, allow you to do longer fasts without issue. These are all things that are the result of becoming fat adapted. But you can't have cheat days if you're trying to lose weight. Save the cheat days for when you hit your goal or you're pretty fucking close to it. Now, I realize there's a sustainability thing there, but you got to ask yourself, do you seriously want to lose the weight, or do you want to go have fucking pizza, And a lot of people opt for the pizza. That's the sadness of it. Saying you get cramps, which are a side effect, especially in the beginning, when you first start flushing your kidneys and you start, your body has to adapt to this. Then you'll notice the cramps become more, infrequent. They don't happen as often, and they tend to only happen when you're not getting your electrolytes straight. If you don't want to take my word for it, let's hear from a doctor. Here's Dr. Stephen Finney, who's been treating people with a ketogenic diet. He hates fasting, though. We'll just get into that. But he's been treating people with a ketogenic diet for quite some time. Welcome, Blue. Glad to see you here. Cramps may occur for a variety of reasons. A mineral imbalance may manifest in physical symptoms like cramps and is often resolved by magnesium supplementation. So he's saying that this is the most important thing, but I think he's kind of ignoring the fact that there are foods and other things that we consume and things in our environment even that can prevent proper mineral absorption of different minerals. So that is something to kind of keep in mind, which I wish he would have said in here. He has to know it. I mean, he's been doing this research for 25 plus years. He should know this shit. He's been ketogenic all that time. So there's that. Along with adequate hydration could be contributing. And that's the other thing. You need to be hydrated. Keep your water is the storage for your electrolytes. Intercellular fluid is where your electrolytes hang out. And bones. Those are the two places in your body where you keep electrolytes. The bones kind of need those electrolytes, so you don't want to tap into them constantly. And if you end up tapping into them constantly, which your body will do if you're deficient in electrolytes, that's where you get diseases like osteoporosis and that kind of shit. You need to get your fluid levels up if you're dehydrated, and coffee obviously can dehydrate you, and there's many other factors that go into, like, excessive physical activity. You're out in the hot sun all day and sweating your balls off. If you have diabetes, it's going to be harder to stay hydrated because you tend to pee a lot. These are all things to consider when doing your electrolyte. If you overconsume water, you have what's called the flush effect. Basically, you start peeing out your electrolytes, and if you're taking in if you're drinking 10 of these a day without any electrolyte supplementation involved in the process, you are essentially diluting your electrolytes. You'll start peeing out your electrolytes because you'll be peeing if you drink too much of this, a lot. And you'll have an electrolyte deficiency from over-consuming this kind of water. You want water that has your electrolytes in it if you want to drink lots of water. So probably every 2 of these that you drink, you probably want to add in some form of electrolytes to keep from diluting your electrolytes. So you can overdrink water. A lot of people have twisted this into, I need to dry fast and drinking water all the time's not healthy. Well, it's kind of true in the sense that drinking this kind of water all day, I see people walking around with fucking gallon jugs, and they're working out, and I'm just like, I hope you put some fucking electrolytes in that water for your workout, because you're going to dilute your electrolytes and run into cramps. I've done it when I did activities and I was drinking this shit. Oh my God, did I get cramps when I was pounding the Fuckmaster with this shit. Thankfully, I don't pound the Fuckmaster anymore, so it's less of a concern. Doesn't really happen on hikes, I don't think, but after a hike, if I don't get some electrolyte content, I will cramp up. So, there's that. Let's see. In particular, a low sodium intake forces the kidneys to waste potassium. That's that balance issue I was telling you about. While in turn can make muscles more irritable and prone to cramping. This interrelationship among hydration, electrolytes, and minerals gets pretty complex, so we devoted a chapter. So read The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Performance. I've read that a while ago. I don't remember any of it. Maybe I need to reread it. That's basically, that's what cramps are caused by. And if you're having cramps, that is your problem. And there's all these different reasons why that could be your problem. And they have to do some of them with your habits. If you eat lots of vegetables, like I said, if you drink lots of coffee, these are all things to think about if you're having cramps. What are you doing that is causing the cramps? And that's really all there is to keto cramps. Now, some people will be like, oh, keto's not the healthy, proper way to eat because you wouldn't get cramps if it was the proper way to eat. I've heard that argument a billion times. It's because of our modern food environment, our modern water, our modern foods, and our vegetables all contribute to our lack of proper mineral absorption. The difference between why a standard American dieter, thank you Dave 101 for the ice cream, the tutti fucking fruity and shit. The reason why standard American dieters don't really have as much of an issue, not to say they never have an issue, especially athletes can run into this quite often, is because they retain more fluid in their bodies. Anybody who knows you, the first thing to go when you go keto is water weight, and you lose 8 pounds of water weight. Well, then you got to think a standard American dieter has 8 more pounds of storage of electrolytes than a keto person does. So they're carrying around a lot of water weight, which allows for more storage of electrolytes. But they can dilute it if they drink too much of this, and then they got all that water weight in there without hardly any electrolyte content. They can run into a lot of deficiencies because of the types of standard American diet foods they eat can interfere with absorption. And even though a lot of foods are enriched with vitamins and minerals, they're often counterbalanced by the fact that their diet is preventing absorption of a lot of minerals. So there are a lot of standard American dieters that also get these kinds of cramps, and we shouldn't forget that. But they are a little less common because a standard American dieter is carrying around 8 more pounds of storage for electrolytes. And, the kidneys are functioning a lot differently as well in that respect. So those are all things to think about if you got fucking keto cramps. I'm surprised the media hasn't glommed onto this and put out keto because the deficient and electrolytes and cramps and shit. No, it just requires attention because our food environment does not provide us with proper mineral intake on its own, largely thanks to the types of foods that we eat, the pollution in our industrial agriculture, and many other factors that go into, not to mention our personal lifestyle habits that go into keeping this balance alive. And we run into it more as ketos because we don't have as much of a buffer as a standard American dieter. Does not mean the standard American dieter is healthier. And that's the tragic, Wendy, I really do, worry that you're turning back to what looks like a normal diet because of this. You really got to dial in and do some of these things. You say that you're taking in, but like I said, you got to take into account these meds, and the kind of fluid that you're drinking is also important. If you're trying to drink a lot of this, you're just diluting your mineral content. If your medications are causing a lack of absorption of certain minerals and electrolytes, then you need to compensate accordingly. So these are all things that I would do in your situation. And once again, I forgot to fucking switch to this part here. These are all things to and you shouldn't be scared off. This is, just an issue that you can overcome rather easily. But it requires vigilance. You gotta, if you're getting a cramp, you'll know. Your body's telling you. It's not a panic situation if you get a foot cramp. It's your body's saying, oh, by the way, this muscle's pissed off at you because your electrolytes. And now if you let it go and you keep cramping and you cramp day after day, it can become a health concern because your heart is a muscle. And that is an important muscle, and it's the last one that's going to be deficient. Your body will catabolize your bones to keep your heart going, and then you'll start to notice bone deficiencies if it continues. So you still want to not get that far. So if you're having cramps on the daily, it's very important that you address this issue. Now let me fuck up my mineral absorption a little bit. All right, so Wendy wrote, thanks, took magnesium for a while until I ran out. It made no difference. I have tried calcium, potassium, organic apple cider vinegar, which gave me the trots. That's what that's the other issue with some of the oral absorption methods. Greek yogurt, other stuff I can't recall, but it seems to be simply a case of chronic dehydration, which I have to be mindful of all day, but makes me have too many trips to pee during the night. That is telling me that you are drinking too much of this kind of water. And if you drink a lot of this, you need more electrolytes coming in to keep from diluting your electrolyte content. So for me personally, I drink maybe 1 to 2 of these a day, and that's it. You got to realize fat has water content, so if you're eating a high-fat diet, you're getting, water that way. There is water in here, but it's counterproductive because it's diuretic. If you're drinking coffee, though, that's something to also compensate for. If you're taking, there's 2 reasons why you might be having to pee a lot at night. That's one reason. The other reason is your diabetes. That's a symptom of diabetes, is an insatiable thirst, and you have to pee a lot. And these medications also could be a factor in it. That's my opinion. Like I said, go find a doctor who knows his shit to help you with the medication issue. It requires finding a good doctor. If you just get the regular dickheads that just got out of medical school, they're just going to say, nope, take the medicine, that keto's bad for you, fucking don't do it. Find a doctor who knows what he's talking about. Even if you have to email one of the YouTube doctors you see talking about it, or Stephen Finney himself, they get thousands of emails all the time, do it. It's worth it. Even if you have to email them a bunch of times before they fucking get back to you. Some of them might want a little bit of money. I don't know about how the insurance works with doctors that practice keto. So, there's that. Me, I'm kind of in that spot where, fortunately, I got a doctor at the VA who it was friendly. He wouldn't bless me and say, thank you for being keto. But he kind of tongue-in-cheek said, keep doing whatever it is you're doing. You're doing a good job, because they have to stay within their guidelines. They're not going to openly support you. But you can tell the ones that do not support you, because they'll say, no, keto is unhealthy and bad for you, which they're allowed to say. And if you have a doctor like that, it might be time to find a new doctor. And don't be afraid, because doctors aren't infallible. They also become victims of this fucked up, pharmaceutically driven, commercial driven industry that is our medical system. So I will restart magnesium and see if it is beneficial, and I have other issues. And like I said, the oil option that who was it that mentioned that? That was that you, Double Delta? I don't remember. Okay, No Sugar Life mentioned that. So there are ways that you can put it on your skin without having to take a magnesium bath, but by far this is the cheapest. You can find this shit at Walmart, in your grocery store, all over the place, and ironically, it's used to treat what? Sore muscles. Why? Because you absorb it through your skin, follow the instructions on the back, and it should relieve your cramp systems. You have to do it daily. Especially if you have any of these other issues that are fucking with your balance. I could get away with 2 or 3 days without doing this, but then the cramps do return for me. So that's pretty much the solution. It isn't to drink more water. It is to take in more electrolytes, especially if you drink a lot of water. So that's too much of the sanitized, mineral-free fucking water will cause this issue. If you can find water with mineral content that isn't diluted, you should do it. If you can tolerate adding some of this to your water, which I don't, I've tried. I've tried to make me a little concoction, and I fucking hate it. So I'd much rather take my electrolytes in through my skin. But, too much of one single electrolyte, it needs to be balanced with the other electrolytes, is the other thing to be concerned with. But I find the more meat and fat you eat, the easier it is to balance your electrolytes. Back when I was doing a lot of spinach and a lot of vegetables and coffee on top of that, I had cramps way more often. Than when I became more ketovore and there's a lot less plants in my diet. Then I find it easier to avoid cramps. They're an every once in a great while thing for me now. And they're a great indicator to keep me doing proper electrolytes. So don't ignore your body. Your body has this way of letting you know when you're fucking up. Dieting man, good afternoon. I still drink coffee, although I've moved to decaf, and one afternoon coffee is something I don't want to give up. It's my only real vice. Me too. I'm not giving it up, and I drink way too much of it, and I have to compensate as a result. Could I get adrenal fatigue and other issues from the coffee? Abso-fucking-lutely I can. So I'm going to wrap up the YouTube portion of this video, but I'm not ending the stream because I do want to address a few things. And I probably will leave this in the video that I place on YouTube because I got some interesting comments when I put out the update on my website. So I'm going to kind of wrap up this portion of the video where I'm talking about keto and say to people on YouTube that are watching this that may not give a shit about anything else I do, I'm going to talk about some things that you probably don't give a shit about going forward. This is the time to stop watching the video. If you give a shit, keep listening and watching, and I'm going to go over a few things. And I'm also, for those of you who are here on the stream and are subscribers to ScottTheTruckDriver.com, this will be available in the replay here on DLive and eventually in the subscriber lounge on ScottTheTruckDriver.com. I will be doing and I can't say this on YouTube, but I will be watching this video and giving my opinion on it, because every time that I say the R word on YouTube, I get demonetized to no end. Apparently, it is now illegal on YouTube to do to watch a video and give your opinion, and even though it's transformative, it's no longer advertiser friendly and shit. So, that's, hopefully the algorithm didn't pick that shit up. So, yeah, that's kind of the issue there. So I will be, for those of you who hang out, or if you go somewhere and come back later, it's gonna take me a while to get through that video, so I'll be here a little bit. I've committed to do some extra nutritional research this week, and this is part of it. I saw this pop up, and I haven't watched it yet, so we're gonna watch it together after I address some criticisms that I received. I forgot to address this email from Dave 101, where most people mess up and crash when we talk about diet. It comes to consistency. Most can do crazy diets that end up just causing them more harm than good, because for one, what they do is way too extreme in their own experience, and two, because they rarely get anything good out of it most times and end up worse than they first started. People do ride this rocky wave and yo-yo diet and bounce in and out of diets, and I've seen it with keto as well. People bounce into keto, they can't hack it because they get cramps, or they don't feel good because of the adaptation process, or they are so addicted to these foods that they just succumb to that addiction and dive right back into eating all the shit. I've seen that. I've seen all kinds of people bounce in and out of keto because it's not an easy diet to get started on. But once it finally takes hold, once you get over those addictions, you can stick to it consistently. And I have. And it's great. Even with cheat days now. I used to think that if I had a cheat day, I'd become re-addicted. Hasn't been the case. So, especially since you feel like shit with most foods that you do on a cheat day. If the majority followed a healthy lifestyle that they can actually handle, we are all different. Most would successfully lose body fat they wish to lose. To a degree, I probably would want to lose a little bit more in the belly section for myself, but the rest of me is good to go as far as body fat goes. I want to carry around a little body fat. I don't want to necessarily be in ab range. I wouldn't mind checking and see what I look like that. But my body's not going to let me keep it unless I continuously work to stay down in ab range. Is it possible? Absolutely. If you want to be ripped and abbed up and you have tons of time to invest in the gym to make sure you're building muscles so that what does show is aesthetically pleasing. But for the most part, exercise for me is more a matter of endurance and stamina that I need to do the things that I want to do. How I look is very low on the list of things that I'm concerned with. It's more of, can I do the activities I like? And I do need to exercise more because of the things I want to do as far as hiking and that kind of thing that are very physically intense processes. And if I'm not in shape, well, you see it, I start struggling a little bit with it. So I need to get out there more. I admit it. I've been cooped up doing this for the past couple days, and I'm already jonesing to get out for my next thing, and hopefully I do an adventure video at some point. On my end, I've been doing one day fasted, do light cardio sessions on that day, and the next day I do some weightlifting and eat my necessary daily calories so I don't lose any muscle mass while I'm losing body fat. Thanks to using weight scale feedback and a measuring tape every so many consistent days. It took practice, and I make some mistakes to start, which is perfectly normal for everyone. Otherwise, we'd all be in perfect health. Yeah, you're going to fuck up. I fucked up. You can go back and look through my videos and see how much I fucked up. But once I get it dialed in for myself, I'm doing really good nowadays. To me, it isn't about how fast you can lose weight, but instead it's about keeping what you worked so hard to achieve for the rest of your life. And being a yo-yo and keeping the up and down in weight, not to mention the mental health ups and downs that you'll be keeping in that process. I improvised a little on what you wrote there. Mental health is important. If you don't treat your body in a healthy way, guess what? You're harming your mental health in that same process. 100% true. There is a nutritional component in depression and anxiety, and I have definitely seen the benefits of getting your diet in order on my own mental health. And I've seen it in other people as well that are in my personal life that stick to the diet, and I see changes there as well. I felt like sharing my thoughts because I think you're a cool cat. Please feel free to share some of my own opinions if you ever feel like it. Thanks. Take care, bud. Thank you, Dave101. You've been a very active supporter of what I do, and you've been here to a lot of these live streams. You're here now, I believe. And I appreciate you taking the time to write and to, give us your formula. And by all means, share your stories with each other. in the comments, in the chat. This isn't all about me. This is about us as a community. We need to be able to communicate these things, because like the oil thing that No Sugar Life mentioned earlier, I didn't even know was really an option. I've been doing it this way all these times. It's nice to know that if I go out on the road, I can get that magnesium oil and use that, before I go take a shower, rub some of that fucking shit all over me, go in after about 10-15 minutes and take my shower and get my mineral content in. These are all things that are useful to everyone, and your experience with keto, with carnivore, with nutrition or mental health is going to be different than mine. And as we find these commonalities between us, that's where we kind of get more towards the proper way to do this. So that's kind of, double delta. My story is this: I do whatever Scott tells me to do. I am not the end all be all of this. These are all trial and error things for me, and if you follow everything I do to the letter, you're going to experience the same pitfalls that I fall into. And we're going to get into that in some future videos. I'm going to go back to my earliest fasting video, the one that has 50,000 plus views, and it's getting views to this day by people who are on the standard American diet and don't want to change their diet. That's my I lost 46 pounds eating junk video. Oh my God, does that video generate traffic? And it's fucking almost, 4 years old now, or 4 years old? It's pretty, sad that I made that video and it's getting that traffic, and I hope that people that jump into my channel that way at least go through the whole process of learning that I did, or at the very least catch up. But I am going to do some update videos on things I made long ago, because I think it's important to those people that still are caught in that I'm just going to outfast the standard American diet, because they're going to run into the same issues I ran into that led me to become ketogenic. Thank you for the ice cream, Double Delta. Appreciate it. I lost 100 pounds watching Scott. Well, wow, that's a lot. That's more than I lost. So you must be doing something I didn't do. Although I'm pretty close to normal body weight for me. I think normal body weight might be a little too thin for me. Every time I get down there, people tell me I look emaciated or some shit. So a lot of people say I look fine now, even though I'm not 100% happy with my appearance. But like I said, that's low on my list of things. I don't consider myself, pleasing to the eye. Especially naked. So we'll talk about that. But for the most part, I consider myself healthy, and I feel good, and I can do all of these things that I couldn't do before. And that's worth, I don't care what the fuck happens to me appearance-wise, as long as I can do all these things that I enjoy doing. So I'm glad that I helped you lose 100 pounds, Double Delta. And, and if you stick to this stuff long term, you'll keep that weight off as I have. So that's, that is what it is. Dave 101, that's because people are used to seeing you at a certain weight. If you log your body measurements, you can then argue their complaints. I regularly have stated my weight. I've regularly stated my belly measurement. Last I measured the belly, it was 35 inches around the belly button, which is less than half my height. Not perfect if you want to look like fucking ripped abbed motherfuckers, but well within the visceral fat measurement, which the circumference around your belly button should be half your height to be healthier. Am I perfectly 100% out of the woods? No, I beat the shit out of my liver for years, and I just recently quit drinking, so I probably have some more healing to do. But for the time being, my set point has stabilized. I can eat without thinking about it. I'm not counting calories. I don't necessarily even count carbs. I kind of have a ballpark idea of when I'm doing it, because I generally only have one carby thing a day. The rest of it's carnivore and keto with 0 carbs in many cases. So if I have my one carby thing a day, it's well within the ketogenic realm for me, which is 50 grams for me personally, my tolerance. Amateur 13, what are your thoughts on the BMI index for weight? The BMI, I think, is a poor indicator of your overall health. Bodybuilders throw that fucking way out of whack. If you have a lot of muscle mass, you're going to run into that. I mean, so, yeah, I think BMI is kind of bullshit. Dave 101, I go by losing stomach size and keeping or gaining arms and legs. Keto to me rocks. Dang 24 would be crazy. Ha ha ha. As for me, BMI doesn't work. I have a barrel chest and large organs. I also have that barrel chest thing, I think. So I'm wondering if that's my issue. And my liver's definitely was huge. It's shrunk a little since I quit drinking, but it was a thing. UFO Wizard peeks in. How are you, Scott? Hi, UFO Wired. Sorry, not Wizard. I believe you're one of the what do you call it? The welcome wagon, I guess, for a D-Live. It's good to see you here. I'm doing all right. My stream's doing all right. Everything's pretty good. My channel's doing okay right now. Everything's kind of just okay right now. Although I'm about to get into some things that are a little bit interesting. But before I do that, I want to say goodbye, or at least do the spiel to my YouTube community. Keep watching if you're interested in some channel news and some thoughts and reactions to some of the comments that were left on yesterday's video. UFO Wired, yes, I was here for one of your first streams, helping you out with everything. And thank you. And I continue to learn new things about this platform. And if any of you in the chat room have some questions for UFO Wired, is one of the moderators from D-Live. He can answer them. I know a lot of you have had concerns on D-Live with streams that get choppy, with signing up was a painful process for some of you. You should, by all means, ask him while he's in here in the chat room if there is any concerns you have about D-Live as a platform, because I know a lot of people deal with that. Double Delta D-Live rocks. Just wish the YouTube zombies would come over. I need $50. I'm not sure about the $50 thing, but some people don't want to leave the comfort of YouTube just yet. YouTube has to become more uncomfortable for people before they're willing to jump to other platforms. But enough of you have come over. Thank you, Mr. Humpty, for some more Tutti Frutti and shit. So anyways, I thank you for the diamond, No Sugar Life. I updated my website, and I made this. I was really excited about it. I did all of this work on ScottTheTruckDriver.com to get you all to subscribe there and to start providing things that I can't post on YouTube that I do in other platforms, or podcasts and exclusive content, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed on ScottTheTruckDriver.com, I just brought up the subscriber lounge today, and there will be replays and audio versions of some of the streams I do that will be available for download or streaming right on the spot. D-Live is a great platform because people are sick of the shit on YouTube and Twitch and want a better freedom platform, which is precisely why I have brought a lot of my content here to the streams. In fact, I'm filming YouTube videos as live streams, A, to streamline the process, and B, because I don't have to worry if it fails because YouTube doesn't like it. I still have D-Live, and and we're here. And UFO Wired, I do understand that you guys are working hard on this. I see new developments all the time. The panel, I'm very happy with the panels option, because now I can drive traffic to my website there. I can keep people informed a lot easier. One suggestion I would have is these replays I would probably put somewhere on the landing page. because a lot of times I get people that come looking for me here on DLive, and they're like, I didn't see nothing. It doesn't fucking work. It just says the offline screen. I think maybe the appearance of and the layout of some of the things could be worked on, but I'm sure you guys are probably have heard this and working on it in some way. Just some way that on the landing page, instead of just this kind of obscure tab down here for the replays, because people do watch the replays. Like, I get a pretty good amount of views. I got 32 on that one, 30 on that one, 47 on this one, because I do promote the replays for the 7 days that they're out there and try and get more people to come to DLive in the process. So dig, as long as it isn't racist or hate speech. If it's heavy political, X tag, which I have been doing when I get a little super political, you just to have any political stream, X tag. I understand that, and I try not to get super political. Sometimes I do, though. There is no racism or hate speech here. I'm very free speech oriented, though, so I do rail against people who use those kinds of things as a crutch for censorship on people that probably aren't racist or guilty of hate speech. So that's kind of my stance on that, but I'm not doing anything racist or hateful towards anyone, really. It's more about my disdain for some of the censorship, freedom of speech issues, and the corporate problems that we've run into in our society and life. It's more about lifestyle and freedom than anything else. Dig into everything. What do you classify as hate speech for DLive? That's a very good question. I'm interested in the answer to that. Not that I'm going to, but I would like to voice my opinions on things. Like, can you give me an example? Good questions. I'm glad that you've come in and you can answer some questions from people that have recently followed me here to DLive on this, and I'm looking forward to keeping up with the chat. But I do want to continue with my rant, which is kind of related in a way. So one of the reasons I'm worried about all of this censorship and stuff, one of the reasons I went to start working on my website is I need a home that I'm in 100% control of, that I can produce content from any format that I can, and make it available to people who want to consume it without worrying about algorithms, without deranking, without advertiser problems, without getting banned, or any of these other issues that content creators run into. So, I totally spent like tons of hours upgrading my site. And, so I made this exciting video, this big changes video that I did. This is my blog, by the way, where I post everything now. I'm starting to write blogs again, too, to help, grow the website, because blogs are a better format for people finding a website as opposed to just videos. And, I made this subscriber lounge, which is now up and running. I've already got a live stream replay and an audio podcast available for download. They're temporary available, so if you get there and you want to, and you can't listen to it right away, it's advisable to download it, because I will eventually have to delete old stuff to put new stuff in. But this is going to be like a hub for all of my stuff going forward. So I did this, right? And I started to get some interesting comments, and we're going to go through some of them today. Dig into everything is also why I have moved here over to DLive. I have changed a lot as a person and want to share my knowledge with others. And I am trying to encourage more people to come here, dig into everything, because I, as a creator, am a lot more comfortable, I would say, here on DLive than I would be streaming on YouTube. Like this stream on YouTube, I'd already be massively uncomfortable with, because you never know when that algorithm's going to pick up something and fuck with you. I am perfectly content so far with how DLive treats me. You just seen UFO Wired come in and to check on and see how we're doing. He's here answering your questions and concerns. when has that ever happened on fucking YouTube? Have you ever seen a YouTube moderator come in and even in the comments or something to kind of address things? No. There's some bot written by some dickhead in a cubicle that doesn't know his ass from a hole in the wall and writing his biases into the code, and it's policing us on YouTube. And, you know, I don't want to have to worry about that as a creator. It stifles me. There's things that I would say in my YouTube videos that I don't say because I don't want to fucking piss off the algorithm. You know? And this part of this stream is probably going to piss the algorithm off. You know, if I go in to my dashboard here or my video manager here on YouTube and take a look at that, there's some things that are concerning in terms of the algorithm. Now, they're not concerning financially because a great deal of you are supporting what I do directly and taking the advertisers out of the mix. So I'm not too worried when I see these icons, but it's interesting why they're popping up. Whenever I say this R word right here, this yellow icon sticks, even no matter what I'm watching or discussing. Like back here when I did Can I Face the Old Me, which had some language, but it wasn't too far out of the bounds of what I normally do, which is perfectly monetized in a lot of other videos. But, you know, despite whatever it is I'm talking about, like I'm reacting to VP here, that's demonetized. No end there. And I know it's because of the way I keyworded it and the fact that I put an R word in there, you know, and that it probably picks that up in speech too. These are all things that bother me about YouTube that make me uncomfortable as a creator. Not to mention the deranking of a lot of the topics I talk about, natural health and keto being one of them. You know, if you click, that would be this word right here. I know if I say it, I know if I put it in keywords, then I'm automatically going to get this yellow icon here. So, and it should also be noted that if I have a smidgen, like there were some friends of mine that were doing a cover of a song, and I put that in that video, and I get this claim here, which is fine. I'm not getting claimed, but despite the fact that not only is it friends of mine performing, the entire video revenue is being shared, even though that was but a small chunk of it. This shared revenue thing, I'm still earning 0 on this video here. These are all things that make me uncomfortable posting on YouTube. So a lot of people don't seem to get that that's the things I've been bitching about. And they're getting weary on YouTube, apparently, of me talking about. Some of you are getting weary that I've discussed and that I'm concerned with these things. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Dave 101. That's the exact word. Dig into everything. I'm mostly a gamer, but I'm varied in my interests. Very passionate about God and the Constitution. Health is a big deal to me, too. All right. Yeah, you shouldn't have to be concerned as long as you're not attacking anybody or causing harm or breaking the law, in my opinion. And that's so far on DLive, I've had 0 issues with that. They do watch, they do check, as we just saw, what I do, and my replays are there for them to check as well. And if I'm doing something that's outside their bounds, then I hope they tell me and they don't just jump and ban, and I can correct it and move on for this platform. But my platform, ScottTheTruckDriver.com, is going to be where I am the most comfortable. And if it ever gets to the point where I'm just posting my own shit on my own website and fuck everything else, that's where I'll end up. So far, Minds has been upsetting me a bit, so I'm posting less there. They're getting more mirrors. DLive hasn't pissed me off yet. I know it's a little buggy for some people. For me personally, I'm able to watch everyone's stuff both on my phone and on my computer. But I do know that some people are having issues there. So, that's a concern, but it is what it is. I want to see Scott play Last of Us. I've done a few video game streams on here, but I don't have time lately. Right now, I've got this thing where contributors fund videos each week, up to 5 videos a week, and I've been fully funded. Last week, I put out 5 videos. There's going to be 5 videos this week, and this is on YouTube. And, next week, I think I'm up to 3 for next week. So that's kind of... I've been too busy to sit and play games. Plus, with standing up the website that people are kind of hating on right now, that's taking up more time too. I'm having to work to update different pages and to get out the email blasts for the streams and to try and get people to my content, outside the bounds of the YouTube beast. So I want this platform, DLive, to become a thriving community to where that's kind of where I'm at, and if I don't get funding for videos, I just do videos when I can, and I devote my time making money other platforms. Well, some people are a little are sick of hearing that shit. So let's get back to the comments that kind of spurred me to this. And I'm leaving this part on YouTube, so if they tuned out, they tuned out. Let's see, where's some of the comments from that video? Rich Allen, I liked your channel in the beginning when you were an actual truck driver and really enjoyed your videos. In time, I'm glad I actually got to meet you in person that one day at Turning Stone. Oh, that was you? I remember that. I was walking through Turning Stone to play in a poker tournament because I do like to play poker from time to time. I don't spend nearly the amount of money that I used to. It's like $15 for tournaments now that I go to. So I'm glad to see you're still watching. I remember you took that selfie with me. I'm like, dude, I'm not this famous. Why are we doing this? So yeah, there's that. But thank you for stopping by, Rich Allen, to the YouTube channel. These now, first of all, the people that are making these criticisms, they do it from a good place. They seem to, enjoy my content for the most part. These are constructive criticisms, so don't get angry with any comments or anything like that. I just wanted to address them, both here on DLive in a live format, but also, leaving this in for the YouTube crowd. I want to address some of these things, and I know not everybody wants to hear it, so we're just gonna kind of go into it. Lisa wrote, I love you, Scott. You not loving listening to this whole what should have been a 5-minute discussion about all the behind the scenes work. We know you are doing it, but we are not actually getting any actual content anymore, which I don't think is true. I disagree with. I've done right now we just did a full keto video. I've got streams coming out this week where I talk about Keto Fest, and we're going to even do a little reaction a little later in this stream about another video that popped up that is more research minded, more science minded. But you got to understand, my channel isn't just a keto channel, and I see some people want to paint me into that. My channel is keto, lifestyle, self-improvement. It's a journey that I'm on, that I'm sharing, and it's going to help different kinds of people along the way. Some people are getting helped, like losing 100 pounds, for example. Some people are helping because they're trying to get out of the job they hate and they want to do something similar to what I do. Some people are tired of being stuck in this consumer debt-driven society and want to become minimalist. These are all things I'm doing that improve my overall health and well-being. And it's not perfect. I stumble, I fall, I do stupid shit from time to time. It goes up and down for me. But I'm sharing the journey, including some fun stuff like adventure videos, things I enjoy doing too. I like to post on my channel. You don't have to watch all of it. There's no obligation to click. And in fact, some videos don't get as many clicks as others, and I'm perfectly okay with that. When I bitch about channel growth and all of that stuff, I know that that's algorithm driven. I've seen the evidence of it. I am not the only YouTuber complaining about it. People that I watch are complaining about it. And that's of great concern to me, and that's why am communicating this with you. Because if I don't communicate these things, you have no idea what's going on. If I don't talk about the website and I don't go through it in detail, I get people that will send me questions. Well, I don't, this doesn't work for me. I don't know how to do this. I get tons of people that are just like, I can't, I'm not technologically minded. I can't keep up with all of this. And so I decided to do the website thing to make it easier for everybody. You go there, you sign up for the emails, and then you just click on shit that you're interested in. You go to the blog, you can see my posts and interact. You can even comment on the post. They're moderated, so it may take a little while for your comment to pop up, but it is what it is. I'm not a web developer. So, these are all things I'm doing to simplify it for people that want my shit. I know not everybody wants my shit. I may be doing this whole website blog thing, trying to grow the website and promote it and market it for nothing. It might end up just not working out, but I'm making a go at it. It's given me a strong drive to create more content and to continue to try and grow. Whereas YouTube has removed that incentive from me. I have no illusions of growing organically on YouTube anymore. The only way I will grow on YouTube is if I personally run ads that drive traffic to my videos. And I would like to do this full time, all the time. I know, but I have no, even though you guys are stepped up this past couple weeks, in a couple more weeks, there could be crickets chirping, and then I still have to survive. I still have to make money, even as a minimalist. And I'll have to do other things to do that. And that, of course, means I won't be able to stream. I won't be able to make content. And I'm just kind of getting that across to everybody. And then I'll stop bitching about it. Once everything's settled, once I got the website updated, everything's good to go, I don't have a lot of new things I'm doing, you won't hear about that shit. You'll just hear my normal content. But I'm not gonna not communicate these things, because it's the only way to keep you all informed to what I'm doing. Double Delta Zero, YouTube is shit. I'm starting to agree. It's becoming more sanitized, and the only way to avoid the sanitized is to constantly click the same person that you want to watch. I'm learning that lesson, that if I watch a certain YouTuber a bunch of times, I will get recommended their video, but I'm not getting recommended people in the genre of that person. I'm not getting new content. I have to go searching and digging to find new channels, and I'm starting to do that a lot more, to take the algorithm and the curation out of the picture and just kind of curate it myself. Which is still possible on YouTube, though not fun, because you got to sort through a bunch of videos that suck to find the gems in the rough. And then once I do find them, I'm gonna start promoting small channels that, even not that I'm a huge channel, but I'm gonna promote other content by other people, even doing the R word videos. That I will help them grow, help them get exposure, and we're trying to circumvent this control of organic growth that is driving traffic to these big sanitized advertiser friendly videos and putting their foot down on small creators to the point where they're banning channels, they're demonetizing across the board, and it's basically a move by YouTube to turn YouTube into a mainstream advertiser-friendly platform. They're going to become more and more, safe videos. And by safe, I mean not controversial in any way, shape, or form. And, it's going to become more like regular TV was, and I don't watch regular TV virtually at all because of this. A sanitized, safe environment for everyone's feelings where no controversy ever fucking takes place, and it's going to become shit. Like, my watch time on YouTube is going to drop if they don't do something about this. And the minute one of these other platforms like DLive or Minds or any of these other platforms gets their shit together to take on this giant, which has 1 billion users on it, and creators, and incentivizes creators and takes care of creators, and gets them to go over there, the audiences will start to follow. Not all of them, but hundreds of you have followed me over in this to my other various endeavors. I've got 530 something subs on Minds, and I know a great deal of those were me promoting the fact that I'm there. I've had follows on Facebook page. I've had follows on Instagram, all from people who followed me from the YouTube platform. And I'm hoping to reach new people who have already left these platforms that don't know shit about my shit, So there's that. Double Delta Zero, I write down every advertising I see on YouTube and vow never to buy anything from them. I want YouTube to die. I don't want YouTube to die. I want them to stop being fucking stupid. I want them to remember their roots, where they started, and care about the little guy over the big guys. I think they're missing the boat financially, especially by not taking care of the little guys and catering to large media corporations and the big players, and leaving the little guy behind. I do not feel YouTube gives a shit about my channel. I don't feel they give a shit about all these small creator channels, and there's more and more evidence popping up every day on that. I actually got a blog article I plan on writing on this subject because of some things that I've seen from other YouTubers. So, it is what it is. YouTube will not stop. They are following their plan. It is not an accident. I agree that they probably won't stop, and they won't stop until everyone's already found their new home, their new platform to that they feel takes care of them as a creator. That's what's important. Without creators, you don't have content. Without content, your platform is shit. I've tested out a whole bunch of different platforms that they probably have potential, and they're doing one or two things wrong that are keeping content creators from investing in that platform, investing time to create videos for those platforms, and those platforms become either echo chambers for a very small group of people without a lot of view traffic going on. So Minds does not seem to resonate with me but just don't like it. And I think the reason, Blue, is there's not a lot of people posting. There's not a lot of interaction going on. There's not a lot of comments going on. For a social media platform to work, you got to have people contributing to it, both as posting themselves, commenting, having conversations, stuff like that. There is some of that on Minds. Minds is probably one of the better structured platforms I've seen that is probably taking care of these issues, but the traffic and the posting just isn't there. People aren't hanging out on Minds. If people don't hang out on Minds, it's not going to grow, and it's showing in the views in this latest debacle with the boost ban. The boosts not going through. My boosts haven't gone through for the past almost week and a half now. That's the only reason I was on Minds, is to boost exposure, boost views, and to bring new people in. YouTube doesn't want me to bring new people in, but Minds provided an environment where I could at least get more exposure. YouTube caps their exposure unless you buy advertising. That's the other issue. It's a pretty liberal cap. Like, you can get 300,000 impressions is I think what I got, which is just people flicking through and they happen to see your video fly by, and one of your videos fly by in their search or whatever. So I'm getting some impressions still from YouTube. I haven't given up completely, but I'm also not investing a lot into that platform anymore because I don't see a future in it. And some people are blaming me. Maybe they're right. Let's find out. So I want to hear you cussing your ass off about health and diet and fucking Monsanto and shit, which I still do plenty of. Can I please get my fucking angry keto teddy bear eye candy? I don't know about the eye candy part. Just saying, because I love you. And, you know, I love you too for, you know, not being afraid to give me a little bit of a criticism. I'm perfectly open to some criticisms. It helps me grow and figure out what people like and don't like. You know, I can't just pander to people who just want me to do one specific kind of video because A, it stifles me as a creator. I don't get enthusiastic if I'm repetitive. I need to be allowed to experiment with other content and do these other forms to see what people watch and what they don't. And there's been videos I've made in the past where I didn't even need any criticism. It showed that people weren't too happy about the video, and I made a lot less. I didn't stop making those kinds of videos. I just didn't do it as often. And, you know, I'm regulated by my time demands and other things, but eye candy, no. Well, that's true. I am not eye candy. You know, there's a reason I put little Captain Spaulding things all over my shit. Here we go. Let's see. That's from the VP video. I'm trying to just go over the responses to my big changes video. Scott wrote, I subscribed. I'm interested in your continued growth in minimalism, travel, keto, and rants about mega corporations fucking us. I am not interested in your barfly companion. So there you go. There's someone else who's interested in a different kind of video I do, and is not interested in some other content. But what you got to understand is it's a channel as a whole. I'm going to do videos on various topics. Watch the ones you like. Tune out of the ones you don't. It's, you know, it's not that hard. You know, there's plenty of creators I follow that I don't watch everything they do. I watch the things that interest me, and generally they're pretty good at putting them in the thumbnail and in the description or the title of the video. Thank you, Bobbin DFW, for the follow. I'm glad we're getting closer and closer to affiliate level. We'll have a long affiliate stream once that happens. So I appreciate you. Everybody that follows, I appreciate. Let's see here. Scott, you should have somebody transcribe your videos into text as a blog post for your site with a video embedded. I think it's like $5 to $10, but would add thousands of words to the blog to get. And I do know that that's a thing, but right now I don't have the money to do that. In order to stand up the email subscriptions, that's costing me currently $35 a month. Once I buy a whole year, which I'm waiting to do. Just to be able to send email 5 times a week to up to 50,000 people, which isn't going to be an issue. I don't think I'm going to get 50,000 subscribers on my website. It's silly. Well, it's been a good stream. Not interacting to new follower. Cool. See you around. Enjoy D Live. What do you mean we're not reacting to new follower? I reacted to the new follower. Doing the best I can here. You know, sometimes I'm busy. You know, I can't get to all the fucking comments. I see you can't keep everybody happy. It is what it is. Anna Maria, I don't mean to be a bitch. Don't know, maybe I am, but this channel has become mostly about how to make money. Not true. This is what you talk about in every video I have watched. I do mention new shit and how to support the channel in every video. That's true. Sorta like underlying theme for the last few months. I understand you try to grow several platforms and all of that, and it's very important to you. Still, I think you have become a little too neurotic about the social media stuff. You know, it's affected me. And, you know, I got to communicate it. Would you rather I didn't talk about these things? You know, they're relevant to everyone. You know, you as a viewer, this should concern you a lot more than apparently it does. You know, I wouldn't go that far, Double Delta. You know, this is constructive criticism. I don't think Anna means ill will. She even apologizes ahead of time for the comment. You know, and I did respond in a direct comment, which you can read if you take a look or whatever. These things matter to me, and I'm going to talk about them. You know, if you don't want to watch or listen to them, I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly okay. You know, if enough people don't want to hear my shit, and that, you know, I get 0 views and nobody comes to the streams, or nothing happens, then yeah, probably will change my formula. But for now, people seem to, you know, I'm not able to please everybody all the time. Some content I'm going to do that people don't, that one group of people doesn't like, another group of people likes, and I'm finding that, like, because I've made my channel kind of a jack of all trades, it's going to be a master of none. And I have no illusions of becoming a PewDiePie of the world, or one of these big, huge streamers. It is one income stream for me that I devote the appropriate amount of time to based on, you know, so Double Delta Zero, I was harsh, true story, Anna Maria, go away. You know, and I'm not trying to wish any ill will on anybody. These, I'm addressing these. If I thought the comment was in bad taste or in mean spirited, unless I was doing a mean comment stream or something like that, I probably wouldn't do it. These are legit criticisms that I am taking into account. It's one of the reasons I made sure to do the keto stuff early in the video instead of, you know, I'm going to start restructuring some of the ways I talk about things to help, you know, people get the content they want, and then if they want to stick around for the other shit, they can stick around for the other shit. So that's kind of the direction that, as a result of some of these criticisms, that I'm going to do going forward. How dare you try to get 13 cents an hour for your time? What are you, a capitalist? Oh my God. That is a very true story. There are times when I am in the below the dollar per hour range for the amount of work I'm putting into this shit. But apparently, you know, me talking about it isn't cool. I don't know. I don't want to be stifled in this way where I can't talk about the things I care about. And right now I care about this. But people, you know, understandably, what I could do to kind of make people a little less volatile about it is to just restructure how I deliver these this kind of content. Maybe confine these type topics more to the stream crowd, more to the people that are following me on my website, and a little less to the YouTube crowd. You know, another criticism is I do too long of a video. You know, it's, you know, I watch a lot of long form content myself, and I don't always watch it all in one shot. I'll watch like 15 minutes and then I'll, you know, kind of remember where I am, but YouTube's pretty good about bookmarking my last view spot. So when I start watching it again, I pick up where I left off. Another thing I do is I'll watch things at double speed, particularly if that person's talking a bit slowly, or if it's kind of just slow, I'll speed it up and get through it quicker. There's all kinds of things I do to watch long form content that people could do for my content, which is long form. So I'm a podcaster. I run off at the mouth. I can go off on fucking 1 hour tangents for 30 seconds of reaction to something. I can't change that, really. I can't confine myself to 10 and 15 minute videos. Even trying to edit one of these long form videos down to that level is damn near impossible for me. I'm a long form content creator. I'm not good at ADD, you know, and this, maybe you're right. Maybe this is why I wouldn't grow on YouTube. I can't do the ADD content. I can't do the, I can only give you every fucking ounce of what I have to say in 15 minutes is not something I'm capable of as a human being, which is another reason live streaming is fucking awesome for me, as opposed to trying to keep my videos. Like right now, I'm struggling to get these videos for YouTube down to under 2 hours because of the amount of content I'm generating when I share these streams on YouTube. So, you know, it's just not my way of being. I can't really change that, and as a result, there's some people that'll probably unsubscribe or move on from whatever. Dr. Phil, what drew me to your channel? This was kind of really fucking with me too, these comments. I'm just letting you know that getting a bunch of comments that kind of say the same thing is a good way to let me know that you're not happy with shit. And it worked. So, you know, what drew me to your channel were the short videos where you were talking about carnivore and keto diet. I don't know what short videos you're talking about. I think my shortest videos were probably way, way back in the day. when I had to. Most of my videos were 30 minutes plus. A great deal of my videos are an hour. And since I started doing this stream, it's gone 2 hours. What concert did you go to on Sunday? Dubinsky asked. I went to Korn and Alice in Chains. It was free tickets that I got through vettix.com. If you're a veteran, check out vettix.com. And, you know, if you want to support veterans, you can go there and donate, and they are able to offer more not just concerts, but sports events and other events and arts events and stuff like that. It's a pretty good site, and I became aware of it, and that's what I ended up going to that. So, where was I? Anyways, 2-hour streams, I usually get bored quickly because the majority of you is talking about what other platforms you're complaining about, which I did in this video. The purpose of the video that you're commenting on was to let you know about my website and to show you the things I'm doing. And instead of appreciating that I did all of that work, you're telling me I'm fucking talking about it too much. Okay. Granted, I do probably talk a little too much. I'll rein it in. I'll just tell you to subscribe to ScottTheTruckDriver.com in my YouTube videos in the future, and I'll save all of this content that I do for people that go to that website, you know. But I do think that you'll miss out on some things that maybe you otherwise would have watched because you didn't want me to share that with you, you know. So there's that. It doesn't interest. The 2-hour streams will get bored quickly, but blah blah blah. They're complaining about drops in viewership. I don't have drops in viewership. That's the thing. I'm getting the same amount of views I got 2 years ago, whether it's from subscribers or not. I think it's gone up a little since I've produced some more videos this week and this last week. I think I'm up to 15. Let me look real quick. Let me see about my views. Let's just go to. Oh, didn't want to do that. Why is this fucking up? All right. I don't know why that's doing that. There we go. Shitty computer. That's why that's doing that. Let's go to my analytics real quick. Of course, they're forcing me to use the new analytics. So right now, my views, I'm getting 2,000 in the past 48 hours. That's about average for whenever I post videos. Sometimes it drops down to 1,000, particularly on less popular videos. I'm getting, a lot of traffic coming in on VP, because I did talk about vegetable police. It tends to, when you poke the vegans, that those do well. So should I make poke the vegan videos all day? No, I would hate doing that. Big changes actually is right behind it. So I don't understand the drop in viewership. People are watching it. Somebody's watching it right now. It just went up one. I've got 18,000 views. I'm up 34% because I cranked out more videos. So about 10 to 15,000 views for a 28-day period is pretty much average. Now, if I go out for the last 365 days, what do you see here? You see consistency. My views have been the same. There's spikes here and there for those videos that YouTube feels that they can bless me with exposure, but it's the same. Not going up over a year. It's consistent across the board. 263,000 views, 3.6 million in watch time, plus 1,000 subscribers. So you mean to tell me my views are the same, and I only gained 1,000 subscribers in a year? That's fucking abysmal. And some could argue that my videos suck and that's why nobody subscribes. Or maybe people aren't interested in searching for the topics that I talk about. I can tell you there's people who will not search for keto, ever. Because they don't give a shit. So how do I reach those people? Do I just keep making keto videos? No, because then I'll just be echo chambering to the same group of people who are interested in keto, which is why I don't want to be a keto channel. I want to bring in other people, and then they might stumble upon my keto and fasting content. And then they might start thinking about health. These are all things to think about. Put up a video of our president picking his nose and they will give you 85,000 subscribers. That may be a true story. You also got to take into mind, what are people interested in? And while keto has been growing since I started, it's not reflected in my fucking subscribers, but I see it in society is growing. More and more people who don't know shit about me are into keto now. And here I am, flatline for over a year. 1,000, and you wonder why I get upset and why I want to talk about it. I made $1,591 in ad revenue over the course of a year. Do you know anybody that wants to have an annual income full time, put 70 hours a week into their fucking video content, and make this? And then you wonder why I'm asking for people to donate to the channel to help offset the cost. This is what I am passionate about, because I can't devote 40, 50, 70 hours a week to creating 15, 20-minute videos, which would require a lot of editing to constantly produce. Pandering to the keto crowd, which a great deal of this year, you cited this period being the period where I started to get pissed off about this shit. Well, that was after enduring this period where I was doing business as usual in keto videos, with a touch of minimalism here and there, and I had stagnant growth. So I had to start thinking about, what am I doing wrong? And I started to look into it, and it ended up just being shit. This is what I'm upset about here. Look at all this work I did, and with very little return from the YouTube platform. If I only made this amount of money, and then this looked like a fucking trend that was going up, like obviously it would be wavy lines, peaks and valleys. But if it was trending upwards, it seems like I'm capped. I get above this little 2,000 mark periodically, but that's it. That's the cap. And it's because of the topics I talk about aren't popular. Not only are they not as popular with the masses, they're also not popular with the algorithm, they blatantly said that natural health channels are going to get deranked. There's so much you can't fucking talk about now and expect to grow an audience on YouTube. It used to be the Wild West. Interactions, views, clicks, shares, all drove traffic. That's changed. Some channels get the blessings, some don't. The majority of small YouTubers talking about controversial things like the pharmaceutical industry fucking us up, glyphosate, all these controversial things that I talk about that fly in the face of industry are not necessarily people want to put ads on. So YouTube isn't going to promote it. This is financially driven, this move by YouTube. It's not 100% politics like the media would have you believe. I firmly believe that if it was profitable, they would rely on us more. But they feel it's not, because it's based on advertisers, and advertisers keep getting fucked with by SJWs, and as a result, they pull their ads off YouTube, and then YouTube overreacts more than once. And they've been painted into this corner, and the only way for them to escape, in my opinion, is to become a subscription service. That's it. Make YouTube a subscription, $15 a month for everybody across the board. Get rid of the fucking ads, and then you can help everybody, the small creators, and it'll be based on the market at that point. If creators create stuff that people want to watch, they'll get clicks, and it'll grow, and that's what I want. I want a free, organic system of growth. I'm not getting that there, so... let me get through some of the chat here. I realize I've been kind of rifting for a while. Double Delta, the motherfuckers. Waldemir, there is a lot of keto aspects to continue with. I get it, though. And yeah, there's always new developments, but they're few and far between. I'm about to do some this week. But we need to be aware that this is what's happening, you know? It's because the majority tits and ass sell, my friend. Look at the majority of music videos nowadays. Dad fact, when it comes to logic, that's often. Now, I don't want to name names, but I saw some content, and I'm not going to be specific on where I saw it, but I found it interesting. It was somebody in a bikini bouncing around on a ball, and it was positively performing outstandingly in terms of stream numbers and people watching and contributing and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I need to put on some boxer briefs or some ranger panties and jump up and down on a bouncy ball to get views and shit. I kind of don't like that's a thing, but it's reality. It's what do people want to watch, and do I have what they want to watch? And I'd like to think I got this far bringing something to the table that people are interested in, but I want to expand into different genres. I want to do exploring videos. I want to do urbex. I want to talk about photography and creativity, because that's a big part of what I find fulfilling for me personally, and I think other people could foster that in things that they do to make their life better. Overall, it's to make your life better channel. It's not keto, it's not carnivore, it's not, nutrition, it's not just life, it's the whole package is what I want my channel to be. And if that means I'll just be doomed to mediocrity in my videos or my content, then so be it. It's not why I necessarily do it. I talk about ways that you can get me to do it more, and that's all I'm really doing. You don't have to do these things. You don't have to contribute. You don't have to even watch or share or do anything. But if you want more from me, more than whatever moment I'm currently giving, these are the things we got to do. I'm at my max right now with this contribution thing that I set up where people are funding videos. Like I'm getting fully funded each week, it feels like, and that's a heavy workload. It's shit you not. I put in an 18-hour day on content creation yesterday between working on the website, answering comments, planning out videos for the week, streaming pretty long form what I did yesterday. I spent from the time I woke up till the time I went, maybe about an hour before I went to bed, I started to just watch some random shit on YouTube till I fell asleep. But I was I'm doing tons of work at very low income level, and the only reason I can do that is because I'm a minimalist and am able to make a small, modest income to do it. But I do a lot of it is it's a passion for me. It's something that I want to do, and I hope that someday I can do it fully funded to where I can do all of these adventure series, the minimalism series, the car camping series, van life type stuff. I'm interested in doing that, and that's actually popular with YouTube right now. So, there is what it is. Cough, cough, Urim, is there a treasure box? Okay, I will load the box. We'll load the box, and sometime randomly in the stream I'll open it. And I think we'll be pretty cool today. We're gonna give away. We're gonna do something cool here, because you guys have been generous to me. And since you guys are loyal here on DLive, I am going to put a little bit extra in the chest today. Excuse me, it takes a moment. There we go. So there we go. The chest, allegedly, there we go, is now locked and loaded. There's $5 in there I put. Ish, maybe more like 6. It's 1.2 cents per lino. another great thing about DLive is they're not taking huge cuts, and if you're invested in the site, you actually get some of it back in interest as well. So yeah, we have a $5 chest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure that'll bring some chest campers in, but that's fine. So yeah, that'll be distributed, and the way you get in on that is to talk, chat, follow, subscribe, or well, I don't have subscribe yet. That's what I get when I become affiliate. You can subscribe and to the streams, and I get like a monthly deal. So that's coming up once we hit 200 followers. We're at 188 now. We're getting there. We're close. So yeah, $5 to watch my shit. You know, I wish I'd offer more, but I'm on a fucking shoestring budget here. So you know, if I become bigger on here, you'll see fucking Ninjaginis in there. If I grow to some of, you know, the level that some other streamers on here get. But for now, holy shit, Keto UK. Right, I was talking about. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Enjoy this contribution. Sorry, been absent. Been away to Vegas. Bloody expensive place. I do plan on going to Vegas at some point, doing my car camping budget travel thing. Thanks, Yelva, for the diamonds. See, now here's the thing. It takes all the steam out of me giving away the $5 chest. If you guys are just going to shower me with fucking contributions. So I appreciate it. And I'm not doing this to get you guys to do this, by the way. I'm trying to explain this to the commenters that, you know, that kind of had me a little, I don't know. I was a little upset about it. I don't know. It bothered me. I'm like, because the whole purpose of that video was just to say I'm doing all this work for you guys. Here you go, and this is where you can go get what I'm offering you without paying a fucking dime. You know, this is a free thing, this subscription thing, and the content, the exclusive content and audio podcasts and all of that will be free to anyone who just clicks subscribe and is on my email list. And I thought I would be better received than the comments indicated. So thanks, Yell. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. I just gotta say thank you. I appreciate all your contributions here today. Keeps me streaming too, you know. And I do consider your contributions to be supporting me being here on the streaming as far as DLive. So I'm able to spend more time and stream more often because you guys are helping me here too. So you know, it is what it is. You could cut both your hands for some and it still wouldn't be enough. Waldemir, I'm definitely signing up for the email subscription. Thank you. I appreciate that, Waldemir. Or Waldemar. I butcher names. I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's where we're at there. This was probably my favorite post. I actually responded to this one. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And I tried to understand it because I have liked you in the past and I think you're handsome. Well, thank you. You know, you must like people that look like they walked out of a Rob Zombie movie. But the more I listen, the more I don't understand one word of what you are talking about. So maybe other people have this problem too. I don't know. Kind of sounds like you are a writer of your inner thoughts in a journal and no one understands. And to a degree, this video, you know, these things I do, these streams I do, and these stream of conscious and these podcasts are a journalistic thing for me. They're always concerning things that I am interested in, concerned with, and that I'm working on for myself. And part of the journey is figuring out what's wrong with myself and fixing it, you know. And so, you know, and like I said, you know, these people aren't commenting. I didn't find any of these comments to be non-constructive criticism. I think that they have some solid points and things that I probably can work on. You know, do I ramble too much? I've said so. I straight up can get distracted easily. This is something I need to work on. I struggle to get through more than 30 seconds to a minute before I have to riff on something. I'm trying to get better at that. This is something I'm just working on for myself. I do the best I can, with the limited tools. I am not a genius. I am not gonna hit it out of the park with every stream and every fucking video. I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna do shitty videos every now and then. I have a history of shitty videos in my old YouTube channel. Every once in a while, I'm gonna try a new type of video or content, or talk about some new things, like I did with the outrage, political correctness, and social media that I did. Thank you, Keto Andy, for the ice cream. I thought yesterday the outrage PC and social media stream was a pretty good, commentary on our social situations, which are another factor in health. And I enjoy talking about some of these. Some of these streams, I feel like we're getting into some deep, good discussion. So are they not resonating is my question. And if you agree with Babushka Papanik in that I'm not getting through or making sense or quite getting there, or I'm all over the place and maybe I need to stick with shorter, more concise topics and not get sidetracked so easily, I admit I can get sidetracked. Even here on DLive, it happens all the time. People will say something and I'll go off on a completely new rant and sometimes forget what I was already talking about or the way I was going. I'm easily distracted. It's something I do need to work on. It's always been that way. The fact that I can get on here and talk for hours and hours is because I'm easily distracted and able to go down these little rabbit holes of stream of thought and consciousness. And if I break my flow, I tend to change directions or, kind of lose steam on whatever it was I'm talking about. So I could understand that if somebody was watching this and didn't understand that about me, that they would think that I'm just all over the place and they can't make sense of whatever the fuck it is I'm talking about. Is that a thing? I do know I'm prone to it. I've had that criticism as a DJ too, outside of this platform, that sometimes I make jokes and do things that are just lost on people, that they feel like, kind of, I don't know, it's off in some realm of where I get it, but nobody else is going to get it type stuff. Double Delta, tell the trolls, send you $400 and you will do a scripted video. Otherwise, tell them to fuck off. I don't think that would fly very high. I think I'd get ratioed if I did a video like that. Look, there have been individuals who have been very generous. And by generous, I mean $100 plus in a single donation. There's also people like a lot of you here on DLive. If you were to add up all of these donations you've been doing, it adds up to a pretty good chunk of my monthly income. And it's up ever since I announced, and I'm sometimes kicking myself for maybe backing myself into this corner for producing videos. Ever since I announced that, it's fully funded every week. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, okay, if they want me to do an extra video a week or two, maybe they'll, a bunch of people will give $1, and after about 20 people, I'll fucking do an extra video and not run Uber or one of the other things I do for money. Since I made that announcement, I've had to fucking do 5 videos a week, and it inspired me so much that I did all this extra work on the website to provide free shit for people who don't donate. Even though that probably is, not really going to ever generate income for me or even growth necessarily for that matter. I got to do other things on my website to make the website grow. I'm just trying to bring as many of you as I can over there if you generally like most of what I do. Not all. No one likes everything I do. That's what I want to do, and I like sharing the journey on that because I know there's other people that are creatives that want to get out of their shit job that they hate, and that's part of my life that I'm doing. And I'm kind of trying to give people ideas that want to do this. I can't tell you how many times people tell me they want to be a fucking YouTuber, and I'm here to wave the flag and say, well, it's great to want that, but it isn't as easy, and it's definitely not less work than you would do in a regular job. In fact, more often than not, you're going to do a shit ton of work and not get paid or get paid very little for it. I'm in the get paid a little for it right now category. I think I'm up to $2 an hour this week. It's great. Love it. But, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to take that hit because I'm a minimalist. I don't have a lot of financial overhead, and I enjoy making content. If I could just make content all the time and survive, I would do it. I'm realistic too, though. I don't like having my eggs in one basket, so I have backup plans all over the place. And I go to those when I have to. So that's, dude, this is the best Epic Vision Collection bars. Let me check that link out. And I do like sharing links in these streams to learn new shit. All right. So he just sent me this link. I don't know anything about it. Let's see here. Bacon, egg, yolk bars. What's the ingredient list, though? There we go. Uncured smoked bacon, no nitrates, pork, organic dried egg yolk, maple sugar. That's a little concern. How much? Encapsulated lactic acid. I don't know what the fuck that is. Not from milk. Sea salt, cultured celery powder. It seems like a decent ingredient list. What about carbs? So, yeah, it's a little carb heavy per serving. 1 bar, though, is a serving. So 12 per container. So I guess you get 12 bars. I would say in a pinch, this would be good. Especially if you're a hiker. I would probably do something like this on a hike. If it tasted good enough. But I don't know. Do I want to waste my carbs on this bar? Would be what it comes down to. 1 bar, no problem. But more often than not, I kind of lump all my carbs into one thing, like whether it's Halo Top or a piece of fruit that is within my ketogenic realms, or any things like that. Thanks for the follow, Frozen and shit. Appreciate you. We're getting closer and closer. 188. That 200's starting to come into focus. But yeah, I'd probably get something like this for the trail, definitely. Or for when I'm on the road. It's always good to have foods that require very little preparation, because not everyone cooks. Not everyone can cook. And when I'm on the road, I know it's difficult to cook. I have things that I can cook, but it's still very, you got to go buy the shit, then you got to go find a place to park to fucking cook the shit. When I'm home, that's not the story, but when I'm keto traveling, I need options like this going forward. So thanks for sharing that with everybody. Go check it out. Link is in the chat there. And let me finish my riff here. See what I mean about ADD? It happens. But then someone else weighed in on this comment. Scott, you're saying that I need new people to keep this going. New people coming in, yet many of your videos you ramble, so once again, focusing on that, about multiple things. Some people will like that, but to get many, the majority, he's saying, I doubt it. I'm not saying ramble to be mean-spirited, and I understand. And like I said, I don't think any of these comments are mean-spirited, and I'm not mad at anybody that made these comments. I'm just, just kind of... it sucks because I put a couple days of work in and hoping just to at least get thank you for giving us this. And instead of the thank you, I got a bunch of criticisms. But how is someone new to know what you're talking about when there really isn't a concise topic in many of the longer videos, 10 to 12 minute focused videos do? I've had that complaint for years that I need to do the little ADD videos. And you know what? I kind of don't want an ADD crowd. Because they're hard to keep happy. They're fickle. They'll leave. And I don't, honestly, if those are the new people I'm bringing in, I kind of don't want to bring them in. I don't need to be a huge YouTuber. All I need to do is survive. That's it. I'd like to survive and have time to make content. I don't need to be a millionaire. I don't need 1 million subscribers. I want to keep my community positive. My like ratio has been immaculate for the entire channel. And I've been trying to keep it that way. Every once in a while, I flirt with getting ratioed. But let's see, what is that in the engagement session? I hate this new fucking thing. Where do I check likes in here? Damn it. Fuck. Let me just look at the videos themselves. All right, likes versus dislikes. That's this column over here. I mean, look at my like ratios. They're all good. And it's because I don't do that kind of shit. It's because I don't go out there and try and reach the fickle crowd, the ADD crowd, the outrage crowd. I tend to piss sensitive people off within the first 10 minutes of a video, or even in the first 5 minutes, and they let me know that they hate that I swear, and they move on, and I'm perfectly happy with this ratio of people. Not to say that it's always perfect. Every once in a while I'll do a video that flirts with getting ratioed. I haven't been fully ratioed yet to where there's more dislikes than likes. But for the most part, people are enjoying what I'm doing, at least enough to hit the like button, and enough to not, or they just don't give a shit and they won't do either of them. That's fine too. It is what it is. As far as that goes, I like having a good community, a good, positive community that's constructive, even in their criticisms, and I appreciate it, because this could have gone a whole hell of a lot worse. You can get some mean motherfuckers on your channel. I've had them in the past. They don't seem to stick around as much now, and plus there's a lot more tools in place to deal with them than there were back in the day, because I remember back in the day I got ratioed pretty heavily sometimes. So I like I said, I don't have any ill will for anybody that made these comments. They made me think about, maybe there's some improvements and tweaks I can make in my content, but there are some things I'm not going to change. I'm not going to do short form videos. I'm not going, occasionally there might be a short video, but it'd usually be because I need to get something out that's an announcement more than an actual podcasty stream. I'm not going to pander to one specific audience by just doing content. My channel is a variety channel. It is not I don't want it to be Keto Scott or Scott the Keto Dickhead or anything like that. I don't want a keto only channel, because there's more aspects to health than just keto. There's things to be aware of from the pharmaceutical industry. There's, I borderline on being a food, activist in the things I say. There's people that won't go keto but can still find other improvements to their health and lifestyle that will benefit them, even though they may not want to go keto. Maybe they just want to fast. Maybe they just want to improve their lifestyle. Maybe they are tired of the bullshit like I get, and they just need somebody to commiserate with on that. Maybe they just want to be entertained. I've been accused of being funny occasionally. I don't think today is one of those days, but I don't want to lump myself in. I need to be creative. If you want me to do this, if you want me to make content, I can't pander necessarily to an individual's desires for my content, because while one person may just want keto, there'll be another that just wants minimalism. There'll be another that doesn't give a shit. No matter what I do, they like it. I got people in that category. I got people that have been coming in because of the going out in the woods and the adventure stuff. I've got people that are interested, and these are small groups because it's essentially like starting new channels all over your channel. And then you have the fickle crowd that'll come in because you did one of those videos, but because they see all this other shit on your channel, they unsubscribe. So those people aren't going to stick around, and I'm aware of that. It is what it is. Waldemar, I see them in the store. Oh, let's see. I'll try them. Okay, let me see. I got to catch up with the chat here. I still to the egg and chicken and bacon. Stick to the RX8 sexy. Hi, I'm back from vacation. How are you? I'm good. Waldemar, besides Quest stuff, I haven't ventured into keto products. I can cook though, and keto products I consider a lot of them processed foods and junk. Like not something I would do every day. Double Delta Zero, I will tell you what to say. Follow my voice. Yelva, and I'm going to skip some of this. Cheaper meal. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up because I do sometimes riff and fail to look at the chat. Waldemar, I'll sit to the store. The chicken is a target. RX8 sexy. I seen it and it seems most people are getting worse and it's sad. If you don't like someone's stuff, move on. No child drama. Well, unfortunately, RX8 sexy, people don't generally just move on. They want you to change to fit what they want. So if they're displeased with you, they want you to know it. I don't think anyone just watches there's probably people that are quiet and they just surf the content, and if they don't like it, they don't watch, they don't subscribe, and that's fine. But sometimes you do, if someone, you want them to be a certain way, or you would be more appreciative of their content if they changed a few things here and there. There's nothing wrong with a little constructive criticism, because otherwise I'd be completely unaware that this was a thing. All right, I wouldn't, it gets me thinking about my content, and while there are some things I absolutely will not change, maybe I can package it or restructure it in a way that is more palatable to some people who are on the fence about a lot of the content I do. So maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I guarantee you most of the YouTube crowd's tuned out at this point, because this part's still going up on YouTube. Once we get, it's going to be like a 2.5 hour video. I should probably wrap up the YouTube part. So let me do that, actually. You can go through and look at the comments and see how that turned out, if you're so inclined. And I'm not looking for anybody. If you disagree strongly with these comments, don't go and fuck with people on it. It's not what I'm doing this for. I just wanted to address this because I got enough of them that I wanted to kind of make a video response to. Straight up, I don't mind a little constructive criticism. It does get me thinking. Sometimes it bums me out, yes, but I'm a big boy. I can handle it. And unconstructive criticism, like you're a piece of shit, I'm unsub. I don't give a fuck about anybody that says something like that. I do give a fuck when they're being constructive criticism. So if you want me to give a fuck about what you think about me, being constructive goes a lot further than being insulting. And thankfully, there was not any real insulting comments on that. It was all constructive criticism from people who probably have supported my channel over the years or enjoy watching. And so I'm not offended. I just wanted to kind of respond. So if you're on YouTube and you want more shit, head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and subscribe to the email list. There's more free shit. Doesn't cost you a damn thing. If you found this video had value for you, or any part of this video had value for you, please head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and leave a virtual tip, leave a real tip in the virtual tip jar. It's not required. It just helps. And if you want to fund videos, like I said, those contributions do go towards the total for each week. Up to 5 videos, anything over that is considered a tip for the amount of work I'm doing. You can do all of that at ScottTheTruckDriver.com. ScottTheTruckDriver.com is my home. But if you want to participate in the live streams, head over to DLive and toss me a follow there. And then you can see, we're having conversations, we're talking, we're interacting in real time. And sometimes you can send me down various rabbit holes. This isn't the end of the stream, by the way. I'm just ending the YouTube portion. So I'm about to play my little outro. I will be back after the little outro is done. This saves me a lot of editing. So have a nice motherfucking day and shit to the YouTubers. Now, here we go.